Hello, my name is Kathy James, and I am the founder of Girl Fight and the GFYA program. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Rebecca Daffeh, the holistic coach. Rebecca is a UK-based intuitive artist, color therapist, nutritional therapist, level 3 EFT practitioner, and she has agreed to join us today to provide us some professional therapy tips and resources that will help us to manage our anxiety. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me and agreeing to share your expertise with the GFYA community. I'm really excited to have you and to hear all about the wonderful things that you have going on and to get your expertise in this area.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to sharing them.
Good, good. Can you kickstart us by sharing what anxiety is and how we can recognize those common signs?
Yes, definitely. So anxiety is something that sometimes can be very subtle, but anxiety is also something that can be very noisy and very intrusive. So anxiety shows up in different ways. So I thought I would break it down into three categories with the mental, emotional, and the physical. So anxiety mentally will show up as overwhelming thoughts, difficulty concentrating. Emotionally, we might experience panic, worry, and physically, we might experience palpitations, change in body temperature. So we might feel, our hands getting clammy, or like the opposite would be we feel cold, dizziness, restlessness, and agitation. So that's how anxiety shows up in the mind and the body. It's different for everybody, and this list is definitely not conclusive.
Right, right. I can relate to some of those in the
Yeah,
past,
me
and
too.
I think that's a great start. Thank you. Um, so, what are some common triggers for anxiety?
Good question. Now, our busy schedules can mean that anxiety shows up day to day from our mobile phone pinging, and we're like, oh, we've got to reply to that email or that text or that WhatsApp group question, right through to worrying about something that happened last week or might happen next week. So I've thought about this and I've come up with 5 potential triggers, which will also explore the belief underneath the trigger, because it's important to know the beliefs, because our beliefs become our thoughts and our thoughts become our reality, so
Right.
our life. Okay, so the first one is your social circle.
Mm.
So this can be a trigger because we're trying to fit in with how we look, with what we wear, our particular brands, particularly with young people. Do we have the latest Nike? I don't even know if that's still fashionable, but
I think so.
is it? Yeah, do we have the latest branded trainers, bags? Right through to your technology. Do you own an iPhone? Do you own the latest iPhone? The apps that you use, there's pressure sometimes to go to specific events, places, and possible pressures to drink, smoke, eat things perhaps we don't want to do. Coupled with this, we've got FOMO, the fear of missing out. So our social circle can be an incredible trigger for our anxiety. And this can lead to self-judgment, stress, and overwhelm. So the belief underneath this is I am not good enough.
Mm.
I am not worthy. I don't belong, and I don't fit in. Again, this list is also not, it's sort of limited. It could be different beliefs for different people, but those are the general beliefs that I experience when I work with people and they have this anxiety. So a quick tip, if you're feeling anxiety with your social circle, is to build your self-esteem. Do things that you love.
Yes.
Focus on the things that you enjoy. Could be being out in nature, something around animals, fashion, art, whatever it is for you, focus on that. And maybe you need to find a new tribe. If your social circle is making you feel that agitated and overwhelmed, maybe they're not your people.
Right.
So that's the first one.
And one thing, it's okay, people grow, seasons
Yeah,
change, and
absolutely.
they may be wonderful friends, but you might be growing in different ways. And making new friends should be acceptable and okay. And if that's what you need to feel fulfilled and happy, go for it.
Absolutely. I said this to my daughter, who's 14, and all of my clients. I like this concept that people are in our lives for a reason, a
Yes.
season or a lifetime.
Yes.
And I remember I had a lot of mum friends when I had my children, who are now 14 and 10. And contact evolved. We moved on. I got involved in my career and developing a business, and some of them moved away because jobs changed. That's okay. And
Yeah.
that's okay. It's when you feel the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and you keep showing up to things. It's pressure. So it's definitely okay to let things go, grow, and evolve. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Really, really important to remember that. So another one is social media and your phone. This is kind of separate, but not entirely. So
Right.
social media leads to high expectations and comparing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The belief underneath that, again, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not intelligent enough. So
Right.
your phone is the actual initiator of the trigger in a way, because it's going,
Mm-hmm.
pick me up. Look at Instagram. Pick me up. You pick it up, you go into Instagram, and then you're triggered. So a quick tip for this would be recognize your own strengths and your own superpowers. We all know what we see on social media isn't always the truth.
Right.
And the wonderful images that took hours to edit or create, not everything is what it seems. And you don't need the approval of the people from your phone. You
Right.
need your inner approval. Are you showing up as you? Disregard social media if it's making you feel anxious. Come off it. Have a break from it. Take a social media holiday. You
Yeah.
don't need to keep it. It's
Right.
good fun, but you don't need to keep it. The third one is body image. So this can be a big anxiety inducer for many people,
Mm-hmm.
males and females, leading to low self-esteem, lack of confidence when we start to compare skin colors, body shapes, weight, build, height, hairstyles, possibly leading to disordered eating, possibly body dysmorphia. And it also relates to your style, so how you show up in the world. Again, the belief here, I'm not good enough. This is a reoccurring theme. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
pretty enough. I'm not slim enough. I'm not fashionable enough. Quick tip, start to notice the things that you like about yourself, the
Yes.
things you appreciate about yourself, your own heritage, and recognize you as uniquely you. This is something that needs to be celebrated and cherished. I
Yes.
didn't like my legs growing up. I used to wear baggy t-shirts. I used to try and cover my body up. I've had a struggle when I had children and my body shape changed. And again, Instagram fed into that anxiety. I should be working out more. I should be eating less. I should.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop shoulding all over myself and make a decision. And actually thought, you know what? These legs help me carry my babies. I
Yes.
just started there and worked my way up. And that's
Okay.
all we can do. Come back
Yes.
to ourselves, start with ourselves, and work from there.
Yes.
Another one is lack of sleep. This can lead to more anxiety and more difficulty sleeping. And this creates a vicious circle of anxious thoughts. The belief underneath that is I can't sleep, which in turn makes you not sleep because you're worried about sleeping. I don't know if you've had that, but I sometimes
Oh,
have that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially if I got to get up earlier than normal. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, I can't sleep. And then I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So, quick tip for this, have a good bedtime routine. Go to bed at a certain time. Do not go on social media. Do not go on your phone. Don't do anything that's going to stimulate you before sleep. And maybe have a little pillow spray. I do like a little bit of lavender sprayed over my
Yes.
pillow.
Yes.
That's the scene. So it's something that your brain can associate with relaxing.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
smell the smell, sets the scene, off to sleep we go, in theory. The last thing, particularly for the females, is the hormones, which leads to the emotional ups and downs, the feelings of sometimes depression, anger, and anxiety. And the belief is I'm not understood, I don't understand me, and nobody understands me. So to help balance our hormones, nutrition, limiting sugar, processed foods, take it easy on the caffeine. I mean, I'm a big English tea lover, and I have to be aware my heart would start going, chocolate. Good sleep, fresh air, and exercise, moving the body. All of these things will help to balance our hormones. So those are the 5 potential triggers that can create anxiety for us in our modern day world. And the most important thing is to reach out if needed. If one of these triggers or all of these triggers become very intrusive day to day, you've got to reach out.
Absolutely. So spot on. I think that understanding what our triggers are will allow us to better prepare for them. If we know that our social group or the Instagram platform or whatever have you, it would trigger us. If we're self-aware of that, we can prepare ourselves and plan ahead. How are we going to handle that? Are we going to take a break as suggested? Are we going to avoid? And I think that avoidance of your social group is probably not the best route to go, but, have those conversations. It's okay, and explore new things. But understanding your triggers will allow you to think ahead
Understand your
and even
beliefs as
have
well.
those conversations. Right. And right. So
Yeah,
I think
understanding your
that's important.
triggers.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Understanding the triggers helps us to understand our beliefs, and our beliefs are our thoughts.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
drilling it down to thinking, okay, what's running behind the scenes here within me? Because if
Yes.
you're consistently feeling not good enough, the world is not a particularly pleasant place to be in. It can be very triggering in school, in college, in work, in many different situations. So I think thinking, okay, why am I triggered? What am I thinking?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Very good advice. So why do we have these emotions in the first place?
So we have emotions for a number of reasons, and it's important that we feel them. So emotions guide us on how to respond. And as I said at the beginning, sometimes they're very subtle, but sometimes they're very loud and intense. So emotions help us to get things done because they drive us. You're
Yes.
emotionally driven to show up or not show up. And they make us take action or not action, as the case may be. But even the non-action is an action. So
Right.
it's important to think about, what are you thinking? What are you believing about the situation? So, for example, using the social circle, if we want to feel our feels, my feel is I don't fit in. So why don't I feel like I fit in? So you start to feel into that and explore that. I feel like I don't fit in because I haven't got the latest pair of trainers, or in the workplace, I haven't got that qualification. Okay, now you have a choice. What are you going to do about those things? You might take action, or your decision might be to not take any action, and you can make your peace with it. But if we ignore them, if we ignore our emotions and we push them down, we can make ourselves unwell. They can start to cause the physical symptoms I spoke about at the beginning. And if you want to get healed, you have to feel. So whatever we're avoiding feeling isn't allowing us to heal. In fact, it could be making us unwell.
Wow. So what are some ways to manage those types of emotions?
One thing that I like is to have a routine. As boring as routines sound, I love structure, but I like fluidity within structure, but they help my days, my weeks. It helps our lives to actually be proactive and take action. I love a planner. I have many. I like boundaries too. So they help us to provide stability and grounding, particularly when we are feeling anxious. So I've done many sort of timetables, routines with my clients for the week to help them create rituals. And this can be a real game changer. So, for example, using social media, when are we using it? If social media is the trigger, if we create a routine, we can say, okay, I'll use social media between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. But from 7 p.m., I'm going to start to wind down, read a book, maybe watch a movie, but nothing too stimulating. Do my bedtime routine, go to bed by 10 p.m. I don't know if that's too early. I like 10 p.m. So
I like sometimes earlier.
yeah, I love a good early night.
Yeah.
So you think about this, when am I going to bed and work? You could even work your way backwards and think, okay, I want to get to sleep by 10 p.m. So what am I doing in the hours leading up to it, and create a mini routine from
Sure.
6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It doesn't have to be the whole day, but it's just chunking your time so that you're feeling that you're productive and you're not opening yourself up to those triggers.
Right.
I know it's boring, but it works.
No,
So
it does. It does.
few tips for that would be to think about what routine you'd like to have and how can you make it happen. So do you need to change your evening meal time a little bit, or have a bath a bit earlier? It can be something like that. It doesn't have to be complicated, but the power of a routine can never be underestimated.
Absolutely. Um, I'm going to butcher this. We talked about this earlier. Can you
Oh,
tell our
how do you
listeners
say
about
comparinitis?
yes, that.
Comparinitis.
So I've never heard of that term either, but I think I understand the premise of it. But
Okay.
please tell us our
So
listeners a little bit.
it sounds like a terrible disease, and in a
It does.
way it can be of the mind. Comparinitis. So comparinitis is when we experience anxiety because we're constantly comparing ourselves to others.
Hmm.
Now, whilst this is very, very normal and can be inspiring. So I look at somebody and I think, I don't have what they have, I would like to, and I take action to make it happen for myself. That's quite healthy. Whereas if I'm constantly looking at people and thinking, I don't have that, I don't fit in, and I'm going back into those more negative self-beliefs,
Hmm.
comparinitis becomes
Wow.
very unhealthy. So it's important to focus on your lane. Where are you going? Where are you headed? Focus there. Keep your eyes
Yes.
on that road. Don't worry too much about what's going on in the periphery. Focus forward. Focus on you. I say clean up your street. Don't worry too much about what others are doing. Just clean the
Good
rubbish
advice.
out
Yeah.
your way and go in your own direction, on your own path. I believe we all have our own journeys. How
Sure.
can I possibly compare my journey with someone else's if
Yes.
I'm unique? If I believe that I'm unique and there's only one of me, therefore I'm the only one able to have this journey. How can you compare?
Yes.
You can't really, can you?
No, no. I think that's perfect. I think that you hit it spot on. It's like it's okay to compare. It's okay to do that. It's healthy. I have been driven the most when I've seen women and
Mm,
characteristics and different things that they've accomplished within their own lives that have driven me
mm,
to reach new heights. And it's that's the healthy side that you mentioned. I think that motivation is an amazing thing. It's when we allow it to um, burden us or make us feel, down about ourselves, that it becomes unhealthy. And if we can tap into that healthy and just, change that mindset that, okay, I want that, recognize it, and then take those actionable steps to set that as a goal, or choose not to, and like you said earlier, and make peace with it.
Yes, it's so important to make peace with it. So it's looking at other people and thinking, wow, they're inspirational. They've done
Yes.
so well and they've been through this and they've come out of it the other side. And I'm inspired by that kind of thing.
Yes.
But looking at an image of somebody on Instagram and I'm comparing my body on a very surface level, I can't go down that road.
Right.
She's not me and I'm not her.
Right.
And whether that comes a little bit with age, I think it does sometimes come more as we get older and we
Right.
think, okay, I appreciate myself a lot more as I've gotten older than I did when I
Yeah.
was younger. But recognizing why you're doing it and then making peace with it is so important because, as I say, comparinitis is a trap. We all get sucked into it, all of us, at some point in our lives. The most important thing is to just get out of it as quick as you can and to be self-aware. Think, why did I just fall into that trap there?
Right.
What was going
Right.
on?
Right.
Is there a
And
belief underneath?
not to dawdle there too long.
No,
It's okay.
no.
Yeah, just
No.
don't sit there too long. Give it its space
Mm-hmm.
and then move on. I like it
Absolutely.
though. I'm totally going to be like, okay, recognize it and make peace with it. It's my new motto now.
Good. I
Make
love
peace with
that.
it.
Make peace with it because she's not me and I'm not her or whoever.
Right.
And
That's great.
you're uniquely you and I'm uniquely me and we cannot compare. So we might as well support each other. We might as well empower each other than try
Yeah.
and compare each other, feel insecure and put each other down.
Yes.
Make peace with it.
Make peace with it. I love it. What are one or two ways that we can manage our stress or our anxiety and maybe in the moment?
So I do this quite a lot and it's mini reflections. So reflection time in itself is a very important strategy when managing anxiety to avoid overwhelm. It's taking pauses. So what I do is I simply say, I feel, and then I wait. So I could be working on the computer and I'm like this, really up,
Yes.
my shoulders are up to my ears,
Yes.
and my breath is fast and short. I feel stressed. And then I tune into my body a little bit deeper. I feel stressed because, and I sit and wait for my mind to answer me. I feel stressed because I've got a deadline to meet. It takes us back to this having a choice again. So, what do I do to meet the deadline? Do I go for a walk? Do I put the kettle on? Do I say, I've got a week to meet the deadline? Taking this evening off is going to be fine. And take a break, step away from it. So, take these mini reflections throughout the day. Sometimes I do it and I say, I feel good. I feel good because everything is flowing.
Right.
It
Yes.
doesn't have to always be because I feel anxious. So I try and do that throughout the day, and it just helps me keep a check on me.
Yes.
Make
I
sure
like
that
that you mentioned that it's okay, that we check in even when we're feeling okay. And it doesn't have to
absolutely.
always be the negative. Yeah.
And it's so important to do that because if not, because our brains are wired to be 80% negative, we're always
Yes.
looking out.
Yes. It
Always
focuses,
looking out for
it
danger.
zeroes in on it.
Yes. So when we stop at various points of the day, you could even set an alarm if you wanted to, but to get you into a habit.
Mhm.
But checking in, I feel really proud of myself because I went to the gym. I had a nutritious lunch. I've seen my clients and it was high vibe. We got good outcomes. I feel really proud of myself right now. And actually, I energize that feeling of being proud and I get more feeling proud.
Yes.
But likewise, I feel stressed can be because, and then I make a choice.
Yes.
I could push through the stress. Sometimes that's good too. Or I can take a break, or I can have a glass of water, or I could go for a walk.
Yes.
You have a choice.
Very
But this
good.
is quite a good little mini hack.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And then eventually, hopefully, those good moments start outweighing those negative. And but when you have just a really bad day, just knowing that tomorrow is a fresh start, and it's a new day, and new day full of making peace, and starting over. And so yes, I agree with all of that. I think all of this has been amazing. Before we say our goodbyes, can we do that breathing exercise that you and I were talking about earlier?
Absolutely. So this
Awesome.
is super simple. Again, you can put through your day, stagger it through your day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what I call the 4x4. So some of you may know it as square breathing, but we're not actually going to visualize square, but you can if you, now that I've mentioned it, everybody probably will. Anyway, so 4x4. So it's breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding on the out breath for 4. So I will do
Okay.
it with you, and you do it 4 times. So you could
Okay.
do it throughout the day, or when you notice, again, when you're at the laptop and the shoulders are coming closer and closer to your ears and your breath's getting shorter and you're feeling it in the chest. So just to begin, sitting nice and tall. So just take a deep breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and release 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just one round.
That's awesome.
It's a simple technique that you
Yes.
can do once or up to 4 times, depending
Mm-hmm.
on your time. To do it 4 times would take you a minute.
Right. Right. That's
Everybody
awesome.
could do that. So check in on yourself. I feel anxious. Okay. I feel anxious because I'm worried I said something to a friend that offended her. Take a breath on that. Okay. No. Okay. She's my friend. She won't have seen it like that. I've given it some space. I feel okay about it. And then you make the choice. You can continue
Very
to
good.
worry and feel anxious, or you can kind of let it go with the breath.
This has been amazing, and I'm so appreciative. For those of you watching, Rebecca and I will have a second episode where she will be sharing some more tips about career advice in the therapy realm. But before we say our goodbyes, Rebecca, do you have any additional words, thoughts that you'd like to share with the audience?
I think my thoughts would be, again, to stay in your lane. Stay calm, stay focused, set yourselves goals. And sometimes when you're feeling particularly anxious, just leaving the house is enough. They don't have to be big, life-changing goals. Just stay focused on you and your achievements and your journey. Don't worry too much about what other people are doing. Just because somebody down the road has run a marathon,
Right.
and all you did was get up and shower, fine, well
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Just stay in your lane, focus on your journey, and don't fall into comparing.
Yes. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate it, and can't wait for everyone to watch this episode and to hear more about your journey, your career journey, how you got here, and all the wonderful things that you've got going on. I truly appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. I